Rightio, so this is the homebrew cider. So we've got our apple juice here, which I think is just standard, it's not condensed. I've just done a reading and got 1052 at 13 degrees Celsius, so I'm just going to do a second hydrometer reading and then just check we're getting the same reading and then do a calculation to figure out the standard hydrometer reading at room temperature. Oh, you were meant to see those. So what we've done is we've just done a real basic 250 gram light crystal malt, not a mash, just a steep, and just sieved it. And I've mixed in some of the apple juice here, just to add a little bit more to the boil, because there wasn't a lot of water left in there, probably less than a litre. So I've topped it up to about 2 or 3 litres here. Smells amazing, smells like apple pie. So that's just heating up. I'm going to release the lid after it's boiling because, you know, we've got things to boil off. I've been keeping a bit of a journal here. Graph is basically what we're calling it, because it is a cider slash beer. So what have we got? 22.5 kgs. I need to define how many litres that is of pressed apple juice. And the apple juice came out at a gravity of 1048. 250 grams of light crystal malt, steeped about 50 degrees for 20 minutes or so. I'm going to take a pH reading, not off the steeping or mash, but more to do with the end product before fermentation. 10 gram packet of M42 strong, New World strong ale. It's meant for IPAs and porters and imperials and things. But I like the fact that it's high attenuation and very high flocculation, so should be good. I'll definitely be keen on that. It's got a good range too, 16 to 22 degrees, and it's winter right now, so that works for me. 150 grams of Nelson Sauvin wet hops. There you go. Ooh. So that's just been in the freezer for quite a while. In fact, I think it's almost a year old, so I'm just going to do that at flame out, just to add some aroma and a little bit of flavour. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, again that'll be at flame out. So what do we do? Steeped grain, 500 ml of water, rinsed with 500 ml of water, and now we're boiling the wort with 2 litres of apple juice, and that's what we're up to really. Just while that's coming up to temperature, I'm just cleaning some gear, and got to clean the fermenter. Cool. Rightio, I've just chucked the cinnamon in. Just give that a little bit of a stir, mix that all together, and then we'll do our hop addition and then go to the flame out. Got things sanitising. Rightio. There's hops in there. What we want to do is just get them dunked under the surface, and now we go flame out. And this shouldn't add much bitterness at all really, because we're going to cool this down. Rightio, got that in a cool bath. Ooh, still a bit steamy, might leave that open just to let that steam out. And I think we'll get this emptied next and sort out some juice. Rightio, so we've got it in there, 18 warming up to 20 degrees, nice light colour, quite cloudy, sort of a yellowy cloudy sort of thing going on there, and since it's heating up it's just starting to bubble. I've got the yeast pitched in there, so that is all ready to roll. Not bad for a brew day. It took me about an hour and a half. Pretty good going. So yeah, first cider really, slash graph slash hopped cider. Looking forward to it. Here's some facts. The wet hops were fun. Ended up soaking up a lot of the juice and wort, so that was a bit of a pain. Probably lost about a cup worth of wort or apple juice through the hops. I also had to strain the hops a little bit, so hopefully that was all hot enough to, still be sanitary. I think we're good. So that was cool. Added a teaspoon of cinnamon in there. Still kind of unsure whether that's enough. I just wanted to start low and just let things mingle calmly. Didn't want to be too intense and add like a tablespoon or whatever and sort of make it too cinnamony. So original gravity came out to 1050, so that's cool. So we're about 2 points ahead of what the plain apple juice was, 1048, so not bad. We'll see what the final gravity comes out as. For some reason I've written down something, I don't know why I wrote that, must have been copying something else. But yeah, so brew day 5th of June, and start off with 18 degrees, and we'll see how we are on bottling day in maybe 2 weeks. I think we'll give it about 2 weeks, and then give it another week or two in the bottles to mature, and go from there. I've heard some people leave it for a month, so we'll just see what happens. Cheers guys. Hey guys, how's it going? Right, bit of a cider update. I'll see if I can chuck this in the main video, so hopefully that works out. Right, so here's a bit of a visual. We're still in the fermenter, and I don't know if you can see that, but we are tracking at 18 degrees Celsius. And from my brew notes, that's confirmed for the most part. At the start, we started cold about 15, 16, and then it raised up and got going, and we've been sitting about 18 degrees, which is awesome because it's an ale yeast, and ale yeast, the one I used anyway, liked 17 to 22 degrees, so we're on the lower side, which is safe, and within range, which is ultra safe, so that's good. I've also poured off a little sample here. Fermentation's been going for 2 weeks, 2 whole weeks, and it's still going. It's just it's done its krausening. It sort of did quite a blub blub blub, bubbled quite intensely for a couple days, and it has slowed down, but it is still going. So I think this one might be a 3 or 4 week job, which is surprising because gravity reading proved that it was going to be maybe a 5.5%. So it's not a big drink. It's not a big cider. So yeah. Anyway, here's our taste test. This was run off the tap. It's quite cloudy, which who cares? You can't taste that. It tastes like cider, I'll tell you that. So let's jump in with some tasting notes. Oh yeah. Okay. There's definitely a sulfury smell. It's still fermenting. Yeast is still giving off byproducts and things, namely sulfur oxide. I think that one may be. Otherwise it's a little bit yeasty on the nose. Whatever. The flavour's where it's at, man. Right. Cool. Flavour. There's a bit of sweetness, but there's also a bit of tartness, which is very odd. So it's like there's some residual sugar, but it's getting tart at the same time, which is weird. Maybe it's an acidity thing, I don't know. There's like the equivalent of maybe 5 to 10 IBUs in there. Like it's almost nothing, but there's just a slight smooth background bitter note. nothing like a beer, not even to the strength of like a sort of a cheap lager, or not even a 2%er. It's very subdued and in the background, so that's cool. I was hoping that would be the case, since I chucked the Nelson Sauvin hops into the last minute in the boil. And hang on. There's kind of a I want to say acetaldehyde flavor, just that classic sort of flavor that you get when the beer hasn't quite finished fermenting. Um, we're also getting a slight tropical flavor, which is probably from the Nelson Sauvin hops. But otherwise, the base is just just a apple juice. Like, just tastes like apple juice, man. Help me! It tastes like apple juice and it's 5%. No, but it's really good. So I'm pretty happy. So that's 2 weeks in, still fermenting. It might have to sit for another week or two before I bother to read the gravity, because I mean, if it's bubbling, it's still going. So you just got to leave it. You got to leave it, you know. But I'm pretty happy. That's the update for now. Cheers.